I think the last time I spoke or made a video was roughly a week, 2 weeks maybe, right? Anyways, what's been going on lately? Well, at the moment, basically, I'm still job hunting, but I'm also doing like some side gigs. And thankfully, I'm also not just side gigs as well, but I'm actually like selling stuff. Mostly like Facebook Market, eBay, Craigslist. But most of the time, it's like eBay, it's like Facebook Market. Sorry, I'm like trying to get focused with this thing right because there's not really a lot of light. It's like nighttime and stuff, so yeah. But yeah, so basically just been doing like Facebook Market, Craigslist, or just like who to know type stuff, like just selling stuff. Like have so much stuff from like basically from my storage days and my fighting days, so I have a lot of stuff that I'm just selling. So that's what I've been doing, selling, and then also applying for a lot of jobs. I actually sadly I got declined by like 2 jobs already that I applied for. Long story short, they just basically said, thank you so much, and just want to let you know that we decided to choose someone that is like, much more fit the criteria of the job. So I mean, no harm, no foul, it doesn't matter. I mean, still applying, so that's about it. But all in all, when it comes down to it, I would say in a doing well or doing okay scale, I'd say I'm actually doing pretty good. Pretty good, okay. I'm not doing the best, as if I was like working or something, it would be much more better. But at the same time, the good thing is I'm able to give time to my family. I'm able to help out my family, even distant family, outside family. So it's pretty good. Another thing as well, which is kind of funny, is that, oh my God, so sorry. It's not like, I'm literally holding it in one of my hands. So what's been doing well as well is that I haven't gambled in a long time. So that's one good thing. 2, I haven't made a bet for a long time as well. So that's also good. I think the last time I like gambled was the Philippines. So that was my last time. So I'm happy about that. But I will tell the truth, I did go to a casino because I was at Reno, and I stayed at the J Resort with my parents. And it's just because I gambled a long time, like a lot, like in the beginning of the year. So I had a lot of like free rooms, free tier credits, and like literally free food and everything. So why not? Might as well take advantage of what my money spent, etc. Right? So yeah, that's what I did. And yeah, overall, that's how life's been going on. So yeah, it's pretty good. I actually thought about some ideas of like what to talk about. I do want to talk about some certain things, so it's kind of funny. So basically a story time. So story time, right? So story time to me going to high school in San Francisco. I've always seen a lot of people putting like, oh, like me making videos about like them being in their hometown or how it was going to high school in their hometown, etc. But let me put a take in regards to how it was going to high school in San Francisco. So like as usual, I'm pretty raw in my videos. I'm not really going to do any cuts or shorts. So I went to a high school in San Francisco called John O'Connell High School. Oh well, everyone's gonna be like, oh my God, you're name dropping your school, etc. Oh well. But yeah, I went to high school in the city, John O'Connell High School. At the time, it was called John O'Connell High School School of Technology. Funny enough, there wasn't any technology for the first, like, I'd say for the first a year or two, there was like no technology. We literally had like Apple, we had Apple desktops, like the old school Apple, like, how do you say this? I don't know how to phrase this, but basically it was the old school Apple computers, like box computers. That's how old school it was. It didn't take until like maybe my end of sophomore to maybe early junior years when we finally had like the Mac, kind of like the modern like computers for what students are supposed to use, So yeah, we had that, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty dope, So went there. It was really actually like it's funny because some of us would always question, like, is this school a regular high school, or was this school like an alternative school? A lot of people went to that school not because they wanted to. It's because, for example, they didn't get into George Washington or Galileo. They end up in O'Connell. But O'Connell had like its ups and downs. Then, plus, it was like a school literally within the heart of the mission. A lot of people say like, "Oh, O'Connell's like a crappy, etc." Or, I mean, it was crappy. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very crappy school. But I mean, for us that went there, we made do. We made do, and then I think that's what was nice about the high school. There was a time where the school was very like heavy on like, how would you say, like it was very heavy on wearing blue and red, just because it is a mission district. There was like gang activity. No one's gonna lie about that. Not taboo at all, because literally it was going on like in front of our faces. But in our freshman year, very heavy on that. But when it came to our sophomore year, that's when everything kind of changed. Like our sophomore year, we had like this principal. Can't believe I don't remember his name, but we had this principal, and once we had him, it literally felt like the movie Lean on Me. Like I'd say most half of the people that were going to O'Connell got expelled. They were gone. So the school got even more smaller. Like I'd say my freshman year, there was roughly about a good 700 students in our high school. And that would be considered small in like other towns, etc. But for the city, like, I mean, 700 to even maybe like 800, roughly, that's kind of like a big amount. I'd say kind of a big amount, but it was like 700. But when it came to our sophomore year with the new principal, Mr. Alvarado, there you go, Principal Alvarado, I don't know, like I felt like the numbers got cut to the point where like it maybe was, I'd say like 500 of us, 600 max in the high school. So it was smaller, but much more like, we were going like we were going the right direction. Like he did really good. I would say he did really good. And he was very strict on the red and blue thing. So no one could wear red or blue. You get either sent home or you have to wear like a white shirt over you. But I don't know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong because I have really good memory. And then from there, like everything went well during my sophomore year. Principal was dope. He actually taught me math much better than any of my teachers from high school. Like, no offense to any of the teachers in my high school. For sure I was a fuck up. But I will say, like, the way he taught math was so simple to where, like, how do you know this? And he was like, I was a math teacher a long time ago, Ben. And I was like, why aren't you mathing with me right now, man? Like, I would rather learn from you. But at the end of the day, though, can't hate on him because, he had bigger shoes to fill. And then when it came down to it, too, like, he was a very cool and involved like principal, I would say. And then junior year came, and I'd say it kind of went a little back to like the shitty days. It was good still, like, I mean, I was in sports, and I mean, everything was going well. I wouldn't say it went down like the bad rabbit hole or anything, but what I would say is that during my junior year and senior year, that's when they started going to cohorts. Cohorts meaning like where are you actually like trying to, like, what's your direction? There's a direction of computer science. There's a direction of carpentry and woodsmanship. And also not just carpentry and carpentry and woodsmanship. There was also economics and culinary. And there was also, I think, the last one was like something to do with like environmental and sanitation or something. But there was cohorts because literally our school was known to be a trade school back in however the heck, like, because O'Connell was a trade school. So our school began going back to its roots and going into trades. So it was nice. It was really nice, but also the caveat to everything about that is just that, like, how would you say this? With cohorts, it came to people either thinking about, am I going to go into a cohort? Am I going to think about going into college, etc. I literally was stuck in both. I did woodsmanship for like 3 years, and woodsmanship and carpentry for 3 years. And when it came to my senior year, I literally was like, what am I gonna do now? And then my senior year of like the summer before senior year started, actually, like, it wasn't summer school. It was more so just me just taking a class during the summer because I need to be busy. So what I did is I took culinary and economics, just so I was basically ahead in my senior year, so I didn't really need to take my economics class, but they did say it's recommended just because my economics teacher at the time, he taught really like well stuff, and then was very heavily into the news. So it was a good thing too. But during the summer, did economics pretty good. I learned cooking. I learned everything about being back of house. So that really helped me too in college, not gonna lie. And then, it was a good experience. So I would say that's one thing that really was dope about my high school, because they did have cohorts. They put you in they kind of put you in a streamline where like, hey, after you finish school, you can go into like a trade, and the trade will connect you to like city or something. And then, yeah, it was pretty well off, pretty good. And then right after that, senior year. And then when it came to senior year, senior year was pretty simple. Like, I don't know, I didn't really have a lot of classes. I just know my senior year was like the first year where I skipped a lot of classes. Most of the time, I had a lot of block periods. And I'd say like my senior year was a year where I was just kind of like all over the place. So yeah, that's what I would say. But all in all, when it comes to going to high school in O'Connell, for me, it was like I would rate it as like a 7 out of 10, just because like I met a lot of like really dope people. And then some of the people from O'Connell I still talk to till today. Not just talk to today, like I have like really close, and not just close, like more so I'd say like my friends for life. Like most of my friends from O'Connell, I would probably ask them to like go to like my wedding or something whenever I do get married, etc. So it's pretty dope. Like I was really close to everyone. And then mind you, like the school was, when it was my senior year, the school I would say would be maybe about 600, 500 people too. And then my class was about a good 100. My senior year was a good 100 people. So we kind of knew everybody. And yeah, some stereotypes people say is like, oh, was there any like fights against Mission and O'Connell, etc.? So the other school was Mission High. But the only thing is that we never really, I don't know, there was never like really a big thing of like Mission versus O'Connell. The only big thing during that time was like, I would say it was like Mission versus O'Connell, I think 2009 or 2010, when O'Connell won against Mission. I think that's the year when that happened. So I don't really remember. And then, yeah, not really a big rivalry type school, within the Mission, there was like, I would say there would be about 4 schools within the Mission, but the 2 big schools that was in the Mission was O'Connell and Mission, and then the other schools was SFI, SF International, and there's another school that actually closed down, but they were like, I forgot, but they were like right where you take the 22, and then, I don't know, it sucks, but yeah, that school closed down, and then SFI ended up taking over. That's what I remember. I don't know. It's crazy how I remember all this stuff. And then, yeah, like, school in O'Connell was pretty cool. Yeah. I would also say, yeah, that's about it. Well, that's the video. That's the video about how I'm doing, and also quick story time of my high school days, or how my high school was. So, yeah. Lights.